The xenobiology classroom on Station Kepler 442 hummed with nervous energy. Professor Zalthar, a towering viridian with 6 eyes and crystalline skin, surveyed the assembled students with satisfaction. Today was the day each species would present their homeworld's apex predator, a tradition meant to foster understanding and respect among the galaxy's diverse peoples. The Kryn representative, an insectoid creature named Chiktar, stepped forward first. In his 4 arms, he carried a sealed containment cube. Inside, a creature resembled a floating jellyfish with bioluminescent tendrils that pulsed with hypnotic patterns. The class leaned forward, fascinated. "This is a mind weaver," Chiktar explained, his mandibles clicking with pride. "On my world, it hunts by paralyzing prey with psychic waves. Very dangerous. Very deadly." The class murmured appreciation. The mind weaver was indeed impressive, its tendrils creating mesmerizing light patterns even through the containment field. Professor Zalthar made notes on his datapad, nodding approvingly. Next came Bor-El, an aquatic Thessian whose environmental suit sloshed with water. She activated a holographic projection since her predator was too large to bring physically. The image showed a massive serpentine creature with rows of crystalline teeth and armored scales that could deflect energy weapons. "The Deep Maw," Bor-El announced, her voice bubbling through the translator. "It grows 30 meters long and can survive in crushing depths. Its bite can shear through solid titanium." Impressed whistles and chirps echoed through the classroom. Even Professor Zalthar's crystalline face seemed to shimmer with approval. The presentations continued. A Zaltan student showed footage of pack-hunting flying predators with razor wings. A Dulcoran brought a containment sphere with a microscopic swarm predator that could strip flesh from bone in seconds. Each species showcased predators that were terrifying, efficient, and evolved for maximum lethality. Then the door to the classroom slid open. The human walked in. Marcus Chen was running late, and he knew it. His shuttle from Earth had been delayed, and he'd barely made it to the station in time for the Predator presentation. Under his arm, a standard Earth pet carrier bounced slightly as he hurried down the corridor. "Sorry, Professor," Marcus said, slightly out of breath. "Transport issues." Professor Zalthar waved a dismissive appendage. "No matter, human Marcus. You are here now. Please, show us Earth's apex predator." The class turned to look at the human with interest. Earth was a relatively new addition to the galactic community, and their representative had only been at the academy for 2 months. The other students had heard rumors about Earth being classified as a death world, but the human seemed harmless enough. Small, soft-skinned, with binocular vision, and no natural weapons to speak of. Marcus set the carrier down and knelt beside it. "Right, so Earth has lots of apex predators, bears, sharks, tigers, crocodiles. But I couldn't exactly bring any of those on a shuttle," he grinned. "So I brought something that shares our living space. Something humans domesticated thousands of years ago." He opened the carrier door. A small orange tabby cat stepped out. The classroom went absolutely silent. The cat, a female named Mittens, stretched languorously, her claws extending and retracting. She yawned, showing small white teeth and a pink tongue. Her green eyes surveyed the room with the casual indifference only a cat could manage. Then she sat down and began grooming her paw. Chiktar was the first to react. The Kryn student made a high-pitched, chittering sound and scrambled backward, his chair clattering to the floor. "Predator!" he shrieked. "Active predator! Unsecured!" The mind weaver in his containment cube suddenly went dark, its bioluminescent patterns vanishing as it retreated to the far corner. Bor-El's environmental suit began leaking as she backed away so quickly she struck a desk. "Its eyes!" she gasped. "Forward-facing! Binocular vision! That's a pursuit predator!" The Zalthan student had climbed onto her desk, wings fluttering in agitation. Look at the claws, retractable claws, and the teeth. Professor Zalthar's crystalline skin had turned a pale shade of blue, a sign of distress in Viridians. "Human Marcus," he said carefully, "you were supposed to bring a contained specimen or holographic representation. That creature is loose." Marcus looked down at Mittens, who had finished grooming and was now walking across the floor, tail held high. "What? She's just a cat. House cat. Felis catus. They're pets. We keep them in our homes." "Pets?" Chiktar's voice had risen to a frequency that made the translator crackle. "You keep pursuit predators in your homes? With your young?" Mittens, curious about the new environment, jumped onto a desk. The Dulcoran student who had been sitting there teleported across the room in panic, a defense mechanism of his species. The cat sniffed at his abandoned data pad, then knocked it onto the floor with one paw. It clattered loudly, and Mittens pounced on it, batting it across the floor like a toy. "Hunting behavior!" Borel shouted. "It's exhibiting active hunting behavior!" Marcus rubbed his face, trying to understand the panic. "She's playing. Cats play. It's what they do." "Playing?" Professor Zalthar's 6 eyes were all fixed on Mittens, tracking her every movement. "That creature is practicing killing techniques." The professor pulled up a holographic display with trembling appendages. "Computer, analyze the creature." The display populated with data. The class watched in growing horror. "Felis catus," the computer intoned. "Domestic subspecies of Felis sylvestris. Native to planet Earth. Classification, Death World. Predator characteristics, forward-facing eyes for depth perception, retractable claws for gripping prey, specialized teeth including canines for piercing, flexible spine allowing 180-degree turns, can jump 5 times its body length, can rotate ears independently to track prey by sound, night vision 6 times better than human baseline, possesses Jacobson's organ for chemical detection." The computer continued. "Hunting success rate, 32%, higher than most galactic apex predators. Kills for sport as well as sustenance, has driven multiple species to extinction on Earth. Estimated kill count per individual, hundreds to thousands of small organisms over lifetime." The classroom had gone deathly quiet except for Mittens, who was now purring loudly and rubbing against Marcus's leg, demanding attention. "But she's small," Marcus protested weakly. "She weighs 4 kilograms. "The Mind Weaver weighs 1 kilogram, Chiktar said from behind an overturned desk. "Size is not the measure of a predator." Borel pulled up her own data pad with shaking appendages. "I'm reading the Earth Cultural Database. Humans have over 500 million of these creatures living in their dwellings. You've spread them to every continent. They've colonized human spacecraft. There are populations on Luna and Mars colonies." "They're companions," Marcus said, picking up Mittens, who immediately began kneading his arm with her claws. "They purr. They're soft. Children play with them." Professor Zalthar was reading his own research now. "Human Marcus, your species shares its living space with over 300 species of predator. Your most common pets are wolves." "Dogs," Marcus corrected. "Domesticated wolves. Different thing." "You domesticated wolves?" The professor's crystalline skin was now flickering through several colors. "Your second most common pet is a pursuit predator with a 32% kill rate, and your first is a pack hunter descended from Earth's most successful cooperative predators?" Marcus shrugged. "Well, when you put it that way." Mittens chose that moment to emit a long, loud meow. Half the class dove for cover. The Dulcoran student teleported again, this time appearing in the hallway. "It's vocalizing!" Chiktar shrieked. "Challenge call! Territorial display!" "She's hungry," Marcus said tiredly. "She wants dinner." Professor Zalthar was typing frantically. "I'm reading that these creatures also bring dead prey to humans as gifts, offerings, sometimes still alive for teaching purposes." Yeah, Mittens leaves mice on my doorstep sometimes, Marcus admitted. It's actually kind of annoying. Mice? Borel queried her database. Small mammalian prey species. Your pets hunt unsolicited and gift you the corpses. They're showing affection, Marcus protested. The professor pulled up more data. Human literature contains thousands of references to these creatures. Curiosity killed the cat. Cat got your tongue. Like herding cats. Your own idioms speak of their predatory nature and uncontrollable behavior. Mittens, bored with the stationary humans, jumped down and began stalking across the classroom floor. Her tail swished, her eyes fixed on the Zaltan student's moving wings. It's locked on to Zelnara, someone whispered. The Zaltan student froze, prey instincts taking over. Mittens crouched low, wiggling her haunches. The room held its collective breath. Mittens, no, Marcus said firmly. The cat looked at him, then back at the moving target. She meowed again, questioning. No, Marcus repeated. Mittens sat down and yawned, as if she'd never been interested anyway. She began grooming again. The class slowly relaxed, though no one moved back to their original positions. Professor Zalthar cleared his throat, a sound like grinding crystals. Human Marcus, I believe we must revise our understanding of Earth and humanity. Your world is rated as a death world, class 9 out of 10, but we assumed this was due to environmental hazards. Extreme weather, tectonic instability, aggressive microorganisms. Well, yeah, there's that too, Marcus said. But you've evolved alongside and domesticated multiple apex predators. You keep them in your homes, around your young, for companionship. The professor's colors shifted to something that might have been awe. Tell me, what predator did you bring if this is merely your domestic companion? Marcus grinned, suddenly understanding the assignment better. Oh, you wanted our actual apex predator. He pulled out his datapad. That would be us. Humans. Persistence hunters. We chased prey until it died of exhaustion. We threw rocks with enough accuracy to bring down birds in flight. We invented agriculture, medicine, space travel, and artificial intelligence. Our planet tried to kill us with ice ages, supervolcanoes, and asteroid impacts. We survived them all and went to space. He knelt down, and Mittens immediately climbed onto his shoulder, perching there like a small, purring shoulder dragon. And our relationship with cats? We didn't domesticate them. They domesticated us. They moved into our settlements and decided to stay. We couldn't control them if we tried. The galaxy's full of species that conquered their worlds. Humans are the species that befriended their predators instead. The classroom stared at the human and his cat. Slowly, understanding dawned on the assembled aliens. Earth hadn't just produced predators. It had produced predators so efficient, so deadly, that even other predators chose to coexist with them, and humans thought this was normal. Professor Zalthar saved his notes and dismissed the class early. He needed to file a report with the Galactic Council. Earth's threat assessment rating might need revision. Any species that kept pursuit predators as pets and called them cute, while casually mentioning they'd tamed wolves and risen to the top of a death world's food chain, was not to be underestimated. As the students filed out, giving Marcus and Mittens a wide berth, Chiktar paused at the door. Human Marcus, he said carefully, does your cat need anything? Marcus smiled. Nah, she's good. Though if you see any mice on the station, let me know. Mittens gets bored. The Kryn student chittered nervously and hurried away. Mittens purred louder and kneaded Marcus's shoulder with her claws, drawing tiny drops of blood that the human didn't even seem to notice. On Earth, this was called affection. The rest of the galaxy was still learning what that truly meant.